y'all, it's Heel Heat time.
Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles, and on this episode we're going to review Streaming for Vengeance. And if you don't know what that is, basically this was a video compilation made for Fight TV and Honor Club of some matches that happened on the Chris Jericho Rocking Rage Red Sea Cruise. Which, watching this, I really wish I would have went because it looked like it was a ton of fun. First off, being as it's a Ring of Honor show basically, so we don't see any of the Impact stars that were on the cruise, but that's fine. What we did see I thought was really good, and we start off with round 2 of the Sea of Honor tournament, and the winner of the Sea of Honor tournament gets a world title shot at a later date. The first match of round 2, we have Christopher Daniels versus smooth sailing Ashley Remington. Now, if you're not familiar with him, Ashley Remington actually took the place of Dalton Castle, who had a concussion. And they have a very similar look and moveset and body shape and everything else. But he's not Dalton Castle, he's Ashley Remington. He's a different person altogether. Ashley, you might know if you've watched Chikara over the years. He's a guy that wrestled in Chikara a lot. I thought this was a really good match to start the show. I thought the whole bringing Ashley Remington out, and yes, breaking kayfabe, Ashley Remington and Dalton Castle are the same guy. But we're on a cruise, so what better way to bring back the smooth sailing character? I thought this match was really good. I thought they played off each other really well. I mean, you got 2 former Ring of Honor world champions, 2 of the best wrestlers in the world. Ashley Remington picks up the win in it. I'm going to give the match a 3 out of 5. I thought it was really good, a good way to start the show off, good way to get us going, and right into the tournament. Now, next up, we see kind of a thread that's going to go through this show. 2 best friends, Flip Gordon and Marty Scurll, going up against each other. Flip Gordon versus Marty Scurll, the villain. Again, I thought this was another really good match, and like I said, there's kind of a theme that goes through the whole show. Looks like they had tons of fun there. Looks like they absolutely put on a great match together. I thought they were really good. They worked with each other well. Marty being villainous, Flip being flippy. I thought it was a really good match. I enjoyed this. Flip picked up the win here. I'm going to give this one again a 3 out of 5. I thought this was good. I thought it was another nice way to keep the momentum going. The crowd was amazing through this whole show, and I'm going to probably mention that a few more times. The setting was interesting and different. You could see the sea in the background, and it was just really cool. I thought this was another really cool match and a really nice way. Yeah, friends versus friends here, which we know Flip and Marty are best friends from the Being the Elite series. Next up, we have the biggest one-sided match of the night, Jay Briscoe versus Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger gets some offense in, although eventually he gets overwhelmed by one of the biggest stars in Ring of Honor history, one of the mainstays, one of their toughest competitors. I thought this was a really fun match again. Jay and Cheeseburger against each other. A guy that's known as one of the most violent competitors in Ring of Honor, one of the toughest competitors in Ring of Honor, versus the ultimate underdog. I liked this match a lot. I think it was really fun. Jay picks up the win. It was a little bit harder than he thought it was going to be, but he still picked up the win. I'm going to give this match again a 3, a third straight match that I thought was really fun and kept the ball rolling. And again, the crowd was into everything, and they just this was such a great setting for these matches and for a show. I'm sad that I didn't go on this cruise. I wish I would have went ahead and bought the tickets and went to the cruise. I went back and forth with it, but that's a different story. Next up, we have in the final match of round 2, Jay's brother Mark Briscoe versus Hangman Adam Page. Now, I'm going to preference this review with saying I really like both of these wrestlers. I think Hangman Page is absolutely one of the wrestlers you can put your finger on and say that's the future of pro wrestling. And Mark Briscoe, I've enjoyed him for the past 15, 16 years now. I really, really like both of these guys. This match fell flat, though. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes two really good wrestlers just don't mesh well. They had a whole thing in the beginning where they were trading chops, and Adam Page's chops weren't as thunderous as Mark Briscoe's, and the crowd started chanting they look weak. Then they traded off suplexes and body slams. To me, the vibe of the match, they just never seemed to get back on track after that. And even at one point, the weird moment of the night is a bird crashes into the crowds, which is weird. And just even the commentary team, which was at that point, because they had a couple different guys doing commentary, was Colt Cabana and Jay Lethal. They mentioned it and how strange it was. I want to see these guys go at it again because I think they could do better, and I think they could have a much better match. Mark Briscoe picked up the win, setting up another interesting match later, which we'll get to in a minute. I'm going to give this match a 2 out of 5. I wanted it to be better. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Now, going from that, we're going to jump right into the semifinals. I guess Dalton Castle cleared the concussion protocol because Ashley gave his spot back. Then we see Dalton Castle versus Flip Gordon. A little bit of comedy in this match. Dalton says that he's too sunburned, that asks Flip not to touch him. He plays it up the whole match. I thought that added a little bit of fun back into the show. Like I said, the last match falling flat a bit. Kind of needed this push to bring it up. And Flip being Flip, he's flipping all around. Dalton being Dalton Castle's a great technical mat wrestler. I thought this was a good matchup. I thought they matched well. I'd like to see these two in a longer match, maybe a 20-30 minute match. I thought they did really well with the time they were given. Flip Gordon picks up the win on this one. I'm going to give this one a 3 again, a 3 out of 5. This got the show back on track, and it never really faltered off after this. But I thought this was really fun. Now, if you would have told me about this next match, it would have been worth the price of admission to the cruise itself. Jay Briscoe versus Mark Briscoe. And they didn't disappoint. They got a little hardcore. They used chairs. They beat the crap out of each other. Whenever these two, and it's very rare that they wrestle each other, but when they do, they go all out and they beat each other, beat the living hell out of each other. I rather enjoyed this match. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was what you would expect out of the Briscoe brothers, especially fighting each other. I enjoyed this thoroughly. Jay beats younger brother Mark, picking up the win. I give this match a 4 out of 5. Like I said, it was so much fun. I love watching these two wrestle each other. They don't do it often, but when they do, it's always special. Now that sets up the finals. Now if you've been following along on your scorecards, we have Flip Gordon versus Jay Briscoe. This match was awesome. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was, especially with, and I know it's the tournament took place over a couple days, and they even said it's the next day a few times, so they had time to rest. But with what the two of these guys had put on before this, I expected a little bit of fatigue. Maybe that rest time did help him out. Maybe it didn't. But I thought these guys meshed well. You had the brawler versus the aerialist, and it was so good. I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was so much fun. Probably my favorite Flip Gordon match to date. And that's saying a lot. His match with Jay Lethal was really good. He's had some other really good matches recently. The kid's, to me, for as short as he's been in wrestling, he's really, really starting to take off, and he's really starting to get it, if you would say, where it's not the cool moves that make the match, it's a match that sets you up to go to the cool moves, and he's starting to get that, and it's really showing, and he's really starting to impress. And I'm guessing he impressed somebody in the back because Flip Gordon picks up the win over the most decorated Ring of Honor competitor of all time. I give this match again a 4 out of 5. It was a really good match and a really fun match to watch. Now, finally, we have the main event of the night, and probably the main event of the whole cruise. We have the Alpha Club versus the Bullet Club. On one side, we have Chris Jericho and the Young Bucks, a.k.a. the Y2 Jackson, or is it the Bucks of Jericho, or either way, versus the Bullet Club contingency of Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, and Marty Scurll. This again, another match that I thought was really fun and really awesome. I mean, even having the Young Bucks and Chris Jericho have matching gear, and Chris Jericho wearing a headband somewhat like the Bucks, although Jericho looked more like an 80s rock star than the Bucks normally do. The Bucks don't really look like 80s rock stars. I mean, they kind of do, but you get what I'm saying. He looked more like someone that would have walked off of the stage of a Rat video or a Warrant video or Motley Crue video, and would have fit right in. This match was really good. Again, you got 6 top-tier, top-level wrestlers, 6 amazing athletes in the match. The whole thing, the teasing with Jericho and Kenny Omega, who've had a thing for about a year going back and forth. The teased Jericho Omega 2, where's it going to happen? Who knows? The fact that we know that at least 5 out of the 6 guys in the matches are really good friends in real life, and probably Jericho's in there too. The somewhat tension between Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes, which is still lingering a bit. This match was just really good and a really fun match, an exciting way to give back to that crowd that was there for this kind of thing. And the crowd was amazing. The crowd was amazing all through all of these matches. I'm guessing this was one of the last days of the cruise, either the last day or the day before. And the crowd was still there and still with it and still chanting and cheering. And it was, like I said, a great setting. I hope they do more of these Jericho cruises because this looked really fun. Surprisingly, the Bullet Club contingency of Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, and Marty Scurll picked up the win. I was a little bit shocked with that. I kind of thought it was going to be to the Bucks of Jericho or Y2 Jackson, but I guess that's why they did it. So we didn't think that we would know what happened, so it wasn't so predictable. I really, really enjoyed this match. I'm going to give this match a 5 out of 5. It was really awesome to me. Overall, I thought this was a really fun show. If you want to catch it back on Fight, you definitely should. Or if you have Honor Club, it is on Honor Club. That's how I watched it. It comes with your subscription. Check it out because it definitely is worth watching. I thought it was fun. I thought it was interesting. The whole night was really fun. I give the night overall a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the tournament. I really enjoyed the six-man. This was just an awesome show in my opinion, and kudos to everybody involved for just making wrestling look fun and making wrestling great again. Kind of sounded like Donald Trump there, but I digress. I really enjoyed this. I can't say enough how much I thought this was a fun show. But with all that being said, this has been George Coles with Heel Heat with my review of Streaming for Vengeance.